So guys are often under the impression that women love rough sex. Not just from the porn, but maybe you have heard a lot of women talk about it in your environment or online. Maybe you have been with a good number of women who seem to enjoy rough sex. But actually, I want to explain to you why it is not quite like that. The majority of those women would prefer sex that is not rough, that is more loving, but really sexy and erotic and powerful. Now, there are many reasons why women might behave with you. Or they might talk about sex like they really enjoy rough sex. So that's why guys often get to believe that they need to be rough with women in sex, not just because of porn, but because women seem to reinforce that you need to be aggressive with them and violent with them, because then they will get really turned on and it's going to be really hot for them. So look, there is a small minority of women for who rough sex is the best sex ever. They have tried everything else, and when you're treating her body violently and aggressively, it just really does it for her. It really turns her on. She loves it more than anything else. But this is a small minority. The vast majority of women who look like they enjoy rough sex or talk like they would enjoy rough sex would actually prefer you to have sex with them that is really loving and intimate, but it is sexy. So why do those women appear to you like they love rough sex? So some women enjoy rough sex, they genuinely enjoy it, but it is not the only kind of sex that they enjoy. They will enjoy rough sex, but at the same time, they will also enjoy a kind of sex that is more loving and sensual and sexy in that way. So they don't want to have rough sex all the time, so you shouldn't perceive it like because she enjoyed rough sex, now the way to turn her on and the way to make her happy is to keep giving her rough sex. It's like a really good movie that you have to keep watching again and again and again, and it stops being such a good movie. And typically for this kind of woman, there is a potential to enhance and optimize even more the kind of sex that is loving. And if you get better at it with better skills, better techniques, this will grow into far more powerful experience for her. And that will become a lot more satisfying for her than rough sex, even if at the moment she's enjoying rough sex. So at that point, she might think of rough sex as, a bit of fun. It's okay, it's a bit of nice entertainment, but the really fulfilling sex for her is going to be the times when you're giving her something more slow, more sensual, more loving, more erotic, more sexy in that way. Then there are a lot of women who think that they get turned on by rough sex because, quite frankly, that is the only time when they feel anything and they feel any kind of turn on. And what that means is that guys simply have treated her body quite badly before in a way that didn't do anything for her. So she's never really had good sex that was loving and sensual to her, that really turned her on, made her feel good. She probably has had sex that was always really mechanical and felt of nothing and really lifeless. She struggles to get turned on. She struggles to get out of her head. She's really busy in her head. So the only times when she feels at least something is when something violent or aggressive is done to her. So it's basically a coping mechanism. It is an adaptation. She will tell you that rough sex does it for her because that is the only thing she knows, because nobody has treated her body right to awaken it in a loving and sensual way. If you were to treat her body really masterfully and sexily and really awaken her sexual energies in a loving and sensual way, again, the chances are that she would enjoy that kind of sex far more. She would find it a lot more satisfying. It would really make her happy in the way that rough sex never would. Another reason why sometimes you're having this violent and aggressive sex with a woman and she looks like she's enjoying it, but she actually doesn't, is because quite simply she's performing. She's pretending. Now, why is she pretending? There are actually a few reasons she might be pretending. First of all, women really struggle to get out of this pattern of always pleasing the man in sex, like sex is for pleasing the man. So if you are beginning rough sex, doing something violent and aggressive to her body, even if you think that this is to turn her on, she reads it like this is what you're into, so she's trying to please you by acting like she's enjoying this. Another reason is that she might be really into you, she likes you, she doesn't want to lose you, she doesn't want to upset you, so she doesn't want to seem like she's into some kind of other kind of sex that you are not into, because she's afraid that means that, she's going to lose you somehow. So because you are doing this violent and aggressive sex to her, she's going to give you anything that she sees you like. There are actually a lot of women that I've worked with, especially young women these days, who have never enjoyed sex. And the part that they enjoy in sex is being a good performer, acting out a good performance so that they were good for you and they have power, they feel empowered in some way, that they have created this impact on you. So a lot of women are basically acting out a porn performance and getting off on that without feeling any real enjoyment in their body themselves. So when you're treating a woman violently, aggressively in sex, rough, and you see her enjoying it, that might all be just a performance. And you are not actually turning her on by doing that. Another reason why a woman might be pretending to enjoy rough sex is because she's really trying to convince herself that she enjoys it. She's pretending to herself. All she's ever known is violent and aggressive sex because that is all she ever gets. And she can't feel much in it. But she's not going to get anything else because that is all that there is available. So what is she going to do? She needs to learn to enjoy it somehow. And she's trying. So she's really trying to get into it, to psych herself up. She's trying to enjoy rough sex. She's forcing herself essentially to enjoy it because she doesn't have any other options. She can either have no sex at all or she can learn to enjoy aggressive and violent sex because that is most sex that she's going to get these days. So what does this all mean? It means that there are many reasons why a woman believes that she should be having rough sex with you. Sometimes she will do it for you, and sometimes she believes that she needs rough sex when that is not actually her reality. So just because you hear it from her that she's into rough sex, that is not the full picture a lot of the time. And in all cases, even if a woman gets into rough sex, she gets so little out of it. Okay, it's some fun, some excitement, she gets a sharp sensation, but she gets so much more from sex that is loving and really erotic and sexy in that way, really nourishing for her. She gets so much more aliveness and energy and well-being and emotional satisfaction and physical satisfaction. Even her body works a lot better when sex is loving and sensual and slow. She feels a lot more sensation, a lot richer sensation, greater sexual energy. She will always get a lot more out of that kind of sex than she will get out of rough sex, even if she can also be turned on by rough sex, even if at the moment she thinks that rough sex is the best sex for her. She might just not know it yet. She might have not had the experience of really powerful sex that is loving and sensual to her, for her to be able to say, yes, this is actually something that I really love and that makes me feel really good. But rest assured, of course, she has had plenty of experience of rough and violent sex. Maybe even that is all she has ever got. So the opportunity here is to show her something new, something better, is to make love to her in a way that is really amazing for her, that feels really incredible for her in this loving and sensual and intimate but really sexy and powerful way. And even though she was thinking that rough sex and aggressive sex was the best sex for her, she may well find that there is a new kind of sex now that is the best sex for her. So this is a complicated picture that you will see out there in this topic of aggressive and rough sex. So I hope this explains this a bit more.